President-elect Donald Trump. Inauguration Day 1 week from today. And tonight, the Trump team acknowledging that Mr. Trump's pick for National Security Advisor, retired General Michael Flynn, did call the Russian ambassador the same day President Obama announced sanctions on Russia for the hacking during the presidential election. Tonight, they say they have a good explanation for this. And here's our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl.
It was a so-called black swan exercise that brought incoming Trump National Security Advisor Michael Flynn to the White House today. That's a doomsday drill designed to prepare the new team for any crisis that may hit. But Flynn is already in the hot seat, facing new questions about his contacts with Russia's ambassador to the U.S. It started with text messages on Christmas Day. According to the Trump team, Flynn sending holiday greetings. But 4 days later, just as President Obama is announcing retaliatory sanctions against Russia for its hack of the Democratic Party, Flynn and the Russian ambassador speak over the phone. The Trump team insists the call was simply about logistics.
The call centered around the logistics of setting up a call with the president of Russia and the president-elect after he was sworn in, and they exchanged logistical information on how to initiate and schedule that call. That was it, plain and simple.
But the call happened less than an hour after the retaliation was announced. Not just sanctions, but also 35 Russian diplomats thrown out of the country. The top Democrat on the House Intelligence Committee today questioned the appropriateness of the phone call, pointing out that Flynn has close ties with the Russians, even sitting next to Vladimir Putin at a dinner sponsored by the Russian TV network RT in Moscow back in 2015.
General Flynn's history with Russian TV and his proximity to Putin, at least at the RT dinner, all of that concerns me. There's a lot to be concerned about with how this new administration will approach the Russians.
No word directly from Trump on any of this yet, but the president-elect again blasted those unsubstantiated reports that Russia has been gathering compromising personal information to blackmail him, tweeting, quote, "totally made-up facts, probably released by intelligence, even knowing there is no proof and never will be." Meanwhile, Democratic Congressman John Lewis today said he plans to boycott the inauguration, in part because he believes the Russians helped get Trump elected.
I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president.
And John Karl live at the White House tonight. John, you're reporting that the Trump team does acknowledge that General Flynn did talk to the Russian ambassador on the same day of the sanctions over the Russian hacking. The incoming team on the phone with an adversary, but they say this was about something else?
The Trump team insists they didn't talk at all about the sanctions, but I am told, David, that Flynn and the Russian ambassador did talk about something else. The ambassador extended an invitation to Flynn to attend peace talks hosted by Russia on Syria. This is a pretty big deal because those are peace talks that the Obama administration has been frozen out of.
All right, John Karl with us live at the White House. John, thanks as always.